Hey everyone, it's Station Advisor Doug with you here on the WLFC YouTube channel. Why am I here and not the students? Well, they've been gone for about a month now due to the coronavirus pandemic. But we wanted to provide you with some new programming, a little something different on our website. We'll get this on the air too. We're joined by Tom Fay of Infinite Sonic, joining us all the way from Bogota, Colombia, here in Findlay, Ohio. Tom, thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for the invite. Appreciate it.
So this has been a long time coming for us. We first heard of you. It's been almost a year or so ago when you submitted a song for the new music food truck, which we play at 8 in the morning on WLFC on Mondays. And Retrofit just seemed like a big fit for our station. Tell us about how you got tied into the new music food truck.
Well, I'm constantly looking for opportunities and outlets to get our stuff out there around the world. And new music food truck, I can't remember. There's so many different places that I look for, but I stumbled upon that. I think I had submitted some material to them from our debut disc, One Peaceful Day, which we released in 2018, but didn't necessarily get any feedback from them. But Retrofit was the lead single for our EP Alpha, which we released in October of 2019, but we released that a little bit earlier as the lead single, and fortunately they liked it and they played it, and it got played. As you're familiar with new music, what I love about it is that it gets played on stations around the world, South Africa, and it was just cool. It's just cool to know that our stuff is being heard around the world, and certainly when we discovered that WLFC was playing it on additionally after the new music food truck, it was awesome. It was just awesome to know that.
But you guys reached right out to us after we picked it up, and I think we've been in contact ever since. So tell us about the new EP Omega. How long has this been in the works, and what was really the impetus behind it?
Well, it's actually, the idea was that in last year the idea was to release a full length like we had done with One Peaceful Day, but we hadn't quite finished with all of the songs that we wanted to put on what ended up becoming Alpha. So I realized that it wasn't going to get done before the beginning of the following year, which was the beginning of 2020. So I decided it was probably best for us to release what we had, and then complement that with another release of another EP in the beginning of 2020. So originally the idea of the album was going to be called Infinity, because we changed the name of our band from Sonic to Infinite Sonic. Mm-hmm. I'd written a song called Infinity. It was going to be nice for packaging and all the rest of that. So so I decided, when we decided that we were going to do the EP, I didn't think that Infinity would be a good name for just the first piece of it. So I came up with the idea of Alpha and Omega, and so we released Alpha, knowing that eventually that we were going to release this counterpart disc in the beginning of 2020. So 3 of the 6 songs on Omega were part of the original idea, and then along the way we had come up with 3 new pieces. Or I think there's a song called My Little Problem, mm-hmm. which I had previously written, and I just thought it would be a nice complement. I like to have representations of different subgenres of rock in our records, and I think that's kind of like what I'd like Infinite Sonic to be known for, is that you just never know what you're going to hear. And I liked the idea of My Little Problem, which is more of I think really the only true instrument on it there was a guitar track on it. I think and we did do drums, but it's mostly sampled electronic keyboard stuff, programmed drums and stuff, and so that's kind of like the genesis of how Omega came about.
I liked it. I was listening to it over the weekend when I was putting in some new music on the station, and I think you're right. It hits a good mix, and there's some hard rock, there's some more pop rock type things. My Little Problem certainly stands out as it differentiates itself stylistically from everything else on there, and I think it's a really good mix that you guys have going there.
Thanks. I was mentioning to my friends here in Bogota the other day because I'm recording new stuff and thinking of new stuff. Is just I kind of have this like schizophrenic type of like the idea of music thing. I just like to write different things and sometimes purposefully saying, okay, I'd like to do something that doesn't involve this or does involve something new. And we already have a catalog of songs ready for the next, whenever that's going to end up being the next Infinite Sonic record. I already probably got a list of 12 to 15 songs that are kind of like earmarked for that particular project. And I'm probably going to be doing a couple of other side projects, collaborating with some other musicians that I've had a chance to meet virtually in the last couple of months and connect with. So it's in worlds of exciting possibilities. And I'm glad that you like the songs. It's a little bit darker, I think, than Alpha. And as I found out, as I was listening to the final mixes of the 6 songs, I realized that they all, and this was by accident, they all kind of share this theme of change in some shape or form, and the need for change, the changes that we should have made, maybe perhaps as a society, the difficulties in changing, celebrating people who have the strength and commitment to make change, and another song called Riot that basically says, if you're willing to change, you need to wake up the other people that are not willing to change. So
yeah, that's a good one. I think we're going to add that to our metal mix on Saturday nights.
Sweet.
Up soon. I like that. I think it's a good fit there. I want to get into the process of recording right now and get into a little bit of the history. But you and I were talking a little bit before we started recording this, and just the process of trying to put together an album now. In Bogota, you guys are locked down a little bit more than we are here in Findlay, Ohio, where we still have some range of movement. Most of our stores are still open to some degree, but that's not the case in Bogota. You guys, you have really restricted movement as we get through the pandemic here. So what's it like trying to put together an album or trying to just arrange music when you're in that type of situation?
Well, fortunately, we had finished the recording of Omega a few months before things started to get a little crazy, and we were just waiting on the final mix of 2 of the songs from the engineer and co-producer, and also fortunately the guy that does the mastering for us, who's in Norway, they still quite hadn't had too much of an impact, so he was still available to work as well. But since then, it's been mostly, emails and Zoom chats um, and WhatsApp conversations and passing material back and forth. And one of the guitarists of Infinite Sonic and I and the drummer are going to, we just started to create a side project that he'd given me some music that he'd been working on, but hadn't quite been able to figure out how it should be structured, and there weren't any lyrics. And I said, "Hey, bring it on! I love I love doing that type of stuff." And then I had some ideas that were a little bit harder, more not quite metal, but harder rock. And we decided that from now on, we're going to use those types of songs to this other side project. And Infinite Sonic will go more towards like alternative rock and indie rock in the future. But that kind of answered your question. And there's a lot of people here that I know, a lot of artists and musicians that are using this time as an outlet to be very creative and because there's very little other things to do. And so I have my little home studio set up that I can record vocals and do some initial mixing and stuff on, and then the hope would be eventually when it should be I think here it's going to be about another month or so, month and a half, and then we'll just try to figure out what's the next step as far as the recording process goes.
Tell us a little bit about how you got together. Was it 2017 where you guys got started, a five-person outfit? How did you guys come together and realize this was the direction you wanted to go?
Well, I had been releasing stuff on my Facebook account and some stuff that I've been working on, and you know, I had been looking to possibly start a band when I moved to Bogota and from another city in Colombia, in Medellin. Um, and it took me about a year or so to start to meet people and start to get to talk to people. And this guitar player had seen something that I had published and reached out to me, and he said he wanted to start a project. I said, okay, I'd like to do that. We sat down, we talked a little bit, and he organized finding all of the rest of the members of the band. Of that original lineup, the only two people that are still in the band are me and Gabi, the drummer. So the Infinite Sonic that exists today has been mostly me recruiting and looking for new players that would like to be involved. And again, the team has rotated several times in the last couple of years. But in all of the cases when I reached out to these people, they all liked what they had heard from what we'd already published, and things, that ideas that I had that were ready to be recorded and things. And that's kind of like the way it's worked. I mean, Gabi's been with me for the beginning. She's an integral part of the band. Obviously, drums the hell out of the drums, and also provides a lot of the help with me with background vocals too.
Well, a very good sound. We're very happy to play you here at WLFC in Findlay. All the way, it's just crazy how these things come together. But like, oh yeah, we're playing a band out of Bogota, Colombia. And people are like, how did you even come across that? Well, it just kind of came together, and but it's been a great fit for us. We love having you on the air here. Great talking to you today. And of
Yeah, we
course,
appreciate it.
the new EP is it's playing on WLFC. That's where we'd prefer you listen to it. Of course, you can buy it now. It's streaming on Spotify and pretty much wherever else you can find music right now.
That's true. That's true. And we love WLFC. It's amazing. I mean, hopefully you guys someday in the near future will be able to say that a station in Findlay, Ohio helped break Infinite Sonic worldwide.
We would love that for you. We would love that for us. That'd be good for everybody. Well, Tom, thank you for joining us. We'll have to have you back here once the quarantine start coming to an end, and you guys can start putting together some new tracks and everything. We'll be happy to play them.
Excellent. Really, really appreciate it.
Not a problem, not a problem. And again, I'm Station Advisor Doug. Looking forward to the day when we can get students sitting back in this chair and I'm not in my makeshift office at home, and we can be talking to bands local and abroad and playing you all their music here on WLFC.